Hi there. So if you're wondering why I got a water distiller and if there's any other uses for a water distiller, I think you'll be surprised. So keep watching because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, we're back. So why did I get a water distiller? Well, I got a humidifier not too long ago, and the humidifier requires distilled water. And you're probably saying, well, you can buy distilled water in the store, and that's true. And I did buy some distilled water in the store. So I purchased this humidifier. I think I got it on Friday. I think it was Friday. It's only been a few days anyway. So I went to the store and I got some distilled water. And then I noticed that I needed to get some more distilled water because, well, I ran out of distilled water. So I got some more distilled water. And no, it's not the same bottle. And I also got some more distilled water. So if you're seeing the theme in this of how much distilled water I have used in just a few days, then you'll understand why I considered getting a machine that makes distilled water. So I don't have a car, so driving to the store and keep buying jugs of distilled water that, well, if you needed enough to last you a week, you would have to buy 7 or 8 jugs of this stuff, and it's going to get quite heavy. Not the kind of thing you want to be hauling around on an e-bike. I still have 3 jugs left because my girlfriend took me to the store and we picked some more distilled water in her station wagon. So anyways, I decided at that point, and she agreed with me 100%, so we made a joint purchase because it has more value than just providing water for a humidifier. So first of all, you are supposed to use distilled water in a humidifier to prevent bacteria and viruses that from being airborne. So humidifiers are great things. I have asthma, so they help keep the humidity at a good level. This improves breathing. But if you put the wrong kind of water in a humidifier, you could actually make your air worse. Yeah, it's true. Even things like meningitis, bacterial meningitis, can be transmitted through the air through a humidifier if the wrong water is used. I tried to find a cheaper solution, maybe just boil the water and put it in, but then you still have to deal with things like mineral deposits. So these are things that can damage your humidifier. So I did some research, and the research showed that not only is distilled water good for your humidifier, but you can also drink this stuff. It's actually quite good for you. And even though it takes all the minerals out of it, you can buy mineral additives later to re-add to it that will be good for you instead of trying to take your chance on tap water. Because tap water isn't necessarily the best water for you, because there have been studies that show that chlorine and fluoride and other chemicals may or may not agree with your body. So everybody's body's different. So some people say, well, I've been drinking it for years, it's fine, and maybe that's fine, but you're not everybody. You got to remember there's many people on the planet Earth, about 8 billion. So other people are going to react differently to different environments and different situations. So humidifier has been working good. If you want to check that out, there's another video. Just go to my videos and you can see that. It's been working great. The only thing is that it uses water in order to do what it's got to do. And if you have it on a higher setting, which kind of what I have, it's going to go through a lot more water. So buying bottles like this is not exactly environmentally friendly. And it's also going to be a real pain in the butt, because where are you going to put those in a small apartment? So if you lived in New York or Montreal, you're not going to have a lot of room for lots and lots of bottles of water. And what do you do if you go to the local store and they don't have any? They're all out. Well, then you can't use your humidifier, and who knows, maybe you'll get sick or at least have a bad sleep. So this was the solution that I got right here. And it came in a box like this. So, again, my girlfriend also seen the benefit in this, and she thought, let's buy this together so we can both use it. She wants to try out the water. I said, why not? So we're going to unbox it. Now, these solutions aren't necessarily the easiest solutions, and I'm going to get into that because during my research of these water distillers, they have their own drawbacks as well. One is you have to use electricity to make this distilled water, and then there's the noise because they have a fan. Wow. It does look like a nice unit. There it is there. So there's the fan on the top. And this fan is to condense the hot water, because you're boiling water. And then the steam from that is the purified water, which goes into the tub. So it has a little lid. Actually quite heavy. Cords. And this one actually came with a tester. So this is what they call like a heavy metal tester or a TPI tester. I did not realize it came with that. So you can actually test your water to see how good your water is. So pure water should read 0.0000. So I did not even know that this was going to be in the box. So bonus. And we will take out more. The only problem with this, some of the packaging itself isn't exactly environmentally friendly, because you've got plastics and other things of that nature. But it is cleverly packaged, though. I am impressed, because they actually did the old, we call that the Russian nest egg thing, where they put the thing within the thing. All right, nesting dolls, that's what they call those. Yeah. They got the lid in there. More of this. Okay, so they also provide you with the, now these are crystals, okay? This is to clean the machine. So it's also a bonus. I wasn't expecting to get this either. It's a cleaning powder, so you pour it in the hot water, you add 1 to 4 teaspoons, and then you just wipe out the machine with a soft cloth. Did not know that was in there. That's a nice bonus too. I thought I was going to have to buy all this stuff separately. Then we have looks like handle hardware and charcoal filter bags. So the charcoal filter bags are the final filtration process when the water's coming out. It's just another way of filtering it, just to make sure that the water coming out is as pure as possible. Of course, the handle hardware is part of this pot here. I got to get this out. Let me see. There we go. That there. Lots of foam. And hoops. Some assembly is acquired. Once I get everything out of the box, I will get it set up, and we'll take you to what it looks like. There's the lid of the top of this thing here. So, you know, common sense. This lid goes on here. This hoop obviously goes around like so, because that, you've got two of these, and then that connects to the handle, which is what you'll pick it up with. So we will assemble that in a second. Through movie magic, of course. And let's see. Now I have the bottom of the machine, which is still here. So this is the bottom of the machine. Everything was very well packed. I'm going to put a link in the description of what this machine, so you can find it on Amazon. They range up to $200 and around that area. This one was on special though. This is a 1750 watt machine, and it gets everything up to 115 Celsius. It's got a timer, so you can set your timer, and it also shows you your temperature. That was the other reason why I picked this one, because it had a digital readout display, which is right here. And yeah, this is what a water distiller does. That's the picture of it, so you can see. Let me just take the active track off here, because it won't focus if I don't. So that's what it looks like when you're distilling water. Okay. Here, let me just activate the active track again. There we go. And yeah, we have water tester and everything. That's pretty cool. I did not know the water tester was going to come with it. I really did not know. And this the water tester is to measure your TDS level, which stands for your total dissolved solids. So yeah, and we're going to test regular water, being that they sent the tester, and we'll test the distilled water to show the difference in what you have. I even have a bottle of store-bought water, and maybe we'll test that too. You know, to see if that's any good. So if you're curious about that, keep following along. But the main reason why I got this machine was because of the amount of water that the humidifier is going to need. Now, in the summertime, I'm not going to need a humidifier. Humidity in Montreal goes up substantially, like 56 to 80%. In the wintertime, though, it is brutal. It dropped down to like 11%, 12%. Very, very dry, and it's very, very difficult to breathe. Also, just so that you would know, if there are viruses in the air, they have a harder time in the summer, because when the humidity is high, the viruses don't float around as long. In other words, they float down towards the bottom of the ground. They're not up at breathing level. And that is why people usually don't get sick so much in the summertime as they do in the winter. It's not that you can't, but it's less likely, because the humidity is pushing all the dangerous stuff down to a much lower level. They're falling towards the ground, in other words. It's making them heavy. But when the air is dry, they can float around for much, much longer. They can also go farther distances. And that is usually why people get sick in the winter. It's not necessarily because of the cold, it's because of the dryness of the air. And a humidifier in your house is also a good idea, because the same reason. If somebody did come in your house and they were sick and they were coughing, your humidity level is naturally good, then it's less likely that they're going to float over to your side of the living room and get you, so to speak. So now I also have an air cleaner, which is here, And that is also another good idea. During the wildfires, I got that last year. If you do also suffer from asthma, like I do, it's also a good idea to get one of those as well. So these systems kind of work hand in hand. Now, this is a lot of extra work. However, given the fact that I had a scare and I had to go to the hospital, I'm not going to take my health lightly. I'm not going to brush this off. I'm going to take the doctor's advice more seriously. And if you do have issues with asthma and breathing issues and allergies as well, because this also will help with allergies, then take all these things in mind. So if there's things in the water maybe that you're allergic to, maybe a distiller is also a good idea for that. Some people have said, well, if you take all the minerals out of the water, well, that's not good either. Well, that's kind of true, but you can also supplement that with either a multivitamin, which you can take every day, which has added minerals and vitamins in it, or you can put drops in the water before you drink it, and there are companies that provide those. So my question to you is, do you trust the water company to do everything that it needs to do, or do you think that maybe you should go the extra mile? And when I'm done cleaning this machine, and the fact that it gets dirty and needs to be cleaned tells me that there's going to be stuff in the water that we don't want. Because if you're cleaning gunk out of the water, well, what was in the water that you needed to clean out? Kind of makes common sense. The other thing too is that when we're drinking water, it's technically recycled water. So when you drink water and take a shower and go to the bathroom and things of that nature, the water goes back to a water treatment plant. The water treatment plant treats the water, and then they reintroduce it back into drinking water, which makes it potable. Now, cities are, they have to be under regulation so that the water coming to us is safe. But who determines how safe it is? Is it safe enough just that it doesn't kill you, or is it safe enough that it actually makes you healthy? So there's different levels of safety. So, one could say, well, a seatbelt in your car makes your car safe. That is the minimum requirement. But, of course, we all know that airbags and all the other preventative measures so that you don't get into a crash are better than just having a seatbelt alone. So is this the equivalent to having an airbag or extra accessories to your water? Well, I'm going to test it, and we'll get these results. And I can't wait to find out, because we're going to find out together, because I'm just as new to this as you are if you clicked on this, and I think this ought to be a really interesting experiment, especially for someone who's not really I like scientific stuff. I like science, but I'm not a scientist. So let's find out. Okay, so we'll be right back. I'm going to have this machine assembled, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, so now we're in the kitchen, and I've assembled it. The hardest part that I had was actually getting this handle on this, because you have to fight with these little rings here, and you have to kind of like maneuver them so they go in there, and one of them does not like to sit totally flat. So you may need two people for that, but when it's assembled, it's actually quite a clean setup. I do like the quality of it. This is probably a little bit thicker than maybe a one of those percolated tea cup pots. Very similar in feel, maybe a little bit thicker, not much. It does have this rubber on the bottom, which is nice. So anyways, I've got the distiller here, and it comes with the charcoal filters right here. It comes with 3 of them. They look like little tea bags. It has 4 of these, so I didn't need to do that. I'm so used to using one of the supplied ones that I don't need to do that. So we have 4. One of them is already in here. So take that little guy, put it in there like so, and then this just pops in like there, and that's it. Yep, it just goes in like so. Oops, sorry. Goes in like so. Put the bag in there, hook it, and then kind of push, and then once it's like that, then it should be like so. Done. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, I'll put these back in a nice safe spot. Set them there for now. We're going to put some water in here, and we're going to try it out. And then I'm going to get out the tester. We're going to see what happens. I would support this, by the way, from the bottom. Don't just use the handle, because it's quite heavy. There is a maximum fill line inside the unit, so you might want to use that. I'm just shy of that with a full of one of these, so I think that should be plenty. I can add maybe a smidge more water, but if you are going to be filling it, I would recommend supporting this. Don't just hold it by this. It might not be strong enough. Okay. And we're at the full mark. Then we will take the lid. This is according to the instructions. Now keep in mind, I'm new to this too, so this is all new to me. I never had one of these before. You put this on there. Okay, and then this little guy here, right here, plugs only into one of the outlets. Okay, plug that into there. And then I have the other cord. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to plug it in, and then we're going to check out to see, the display and all the rest of the other good stuff. So, okay, so we are back again, and I've got the machine running. As you can see, I'm going to just pop off my camera here and bring it a little bit closer. And hang on a second here. So, hang on. Okay, so this is the machine, and here is the display, and I've got it in Celsius. It is increasing the temperature. It is telling me here in, I guess, the time of how long it's going to take, and then it's going to fill up this reservoir with the new water. You just slap this on top, well, not slap it, but put it on top. The filter goes in there, as you can tell. It does say that when you just, you have to take it apart, that you don't scald yourself. So it makes common sense. So you have to be careful. So it has this cool tester that came with it. So we're going to do a little experiment. I have an empty glass. I'm going to put tap water in here, and I'm going to test it. Now I have some distilled water already done, but we're going to check this distilled water, and I'll even compare it with the store's distilled water, the stuff you get at the store. Are they even giving you distilled water, or are they just charging you $2 a jug for regular water? We don't know. So it says that if your water is less than 50, okay, I'll just show you here on the chart. It says if your water, got to take out the face track, hang on a second here. It says if your water is less than 50, then it's pure. If it says it's between 50 and 100, it's excellent. 50 to 150 is excellent. 150 to 250 is good. 250 or more is fair, and 300 to 500 is poor or not recommended for consumption, and over 500 is unacceptable. Okay, so I'm going to say that one more time. Less than 50 is absolutely pure. 50 to 150 is excellent. 150 to 250 is good. 250 to 300 is fair. 300 to 500 is poor and not recommended to drink. More than 500 is completely unacceptable. So just turn on face tracking. Put it in regular water, and it says my tap water right there, and I can even, I got a hold button here, hang on a second. So right there. So got to take off face tracking again. I'm trying to get it to focus, sorry. 124. Okay, that was in the tap water. So according to this chart, okay, according to the chart, I think, if I remember correctly, I think that wasn't too bad. It was actually pretty good. So, and that would be how many minerals and things like that. So 124 is considered excellent. So if you're worried about your water in Montreal, I'm in St. Laurent, Montreal, water here in this neighborhood anyway is excellent. Doesn't mean your neighborhood is. You might want to test that. So now I'm going to take this water, I'm going to dump it down the drain, rinse it out. Now that seems kind of ridiculous, eh? Rinsing out water with water, you know, but hey, that's where we're at, right? Okay, now going to get a bottle of Esca. Okay, this is water from the store, nice and cold too. Pour some of this in the glass. We're going to test this. I'm drinking this, just so you know. So I'm going to take the hold button off. I'm going to put it in here, and it says it is 53. 53. Okay, so I'm going to put this on hold. Okay. That's kind of cool that it came with this. There it is there. 53. Okay, 53. Hopefully that didn't show up backwards. I don't know if it did the mirror thing or not, but 53. And that is considered like excellent, like super good. I should mark this page, because now I have to keep finding it again. I did give you the stats, so you have them. Yeah, so 53 is less than 50 is pure. So it's, so even though I bought this water, it is not considered pure technically. It is considered excellent, but is not much better, by the way, than the tap water. The tap water was 124, so a little bit better, but it's still in the same category according to this chart. So I'm going to drink some of this. Now I have some distilled water, and I'm going to grab some of that, and we're going to test that too. Okay, we're back again. So now I have distilled water out of one of these, and we're going to check that. So turn it on and put it in, and I'm going to hit hold. Okay. 1. Distilled water that you get at the store has a number of 1. Wow. That's a big difference. So, tap water, I believe, was 124. Bottled water that you buy to drink, like if you want Esca or one of those, you're looking at 53, so pretty close to pure, but not quite. And then real distilled water that you buy at the store is 1. If this one comes up as a 0, I wouldn't be surprised, because you know the packaging and everything, you know, in my opinion, there's not much difference between 1 and 0. It's minimal. There could even be a margin for error. Pretty cool little tester it came with it. You know, I'm amazed. Hi there. Okay, so we're back. So the distiller has been running for, it's got about 1 hour left. It has produced 2,000 milliliters of distilled water. I do have my thermal imaging camera, so I'm gonna just go over the how hot it gets, because it kind of acts like a little heater almost. So let me just go to the active track. Okay, so this is the top of the machine, and as you can see, it is about 60, I'd say roughly 63 degrees Celsius. It's blowing out the top, so it kind of acts like a heater. Now this might not be a bad thing, because you're mostly going to need a humidifier in the winter time, not in the summertime. In the summertime, if you were making, you know, distilled water, then you're going to have issues with, you know, you're going to have your air conditioning on to keep the place cold, because it does act like a little heater. It blows out, the fan's blowing out quite a bit of air at the top. So, but in the wintertime, not a problem. That's mainly what I'll be using it for. But if you were to just use it for drinking water all year round, well, then you're going to have to take into consideration the amount of heat that it gives off. It is, after all, boiling the water. So yeah, we have about an hour left, and I think we're probably going to get about a 3,000 milliliter yield of water. I will get back to you when it is finished. As I said before, this is just an update. And one other thing I want to talk about the TPS reader is that it doesn't necessarily read things like certain contaminants and like bacterial contaminants in the water. It is mainly just to tell you how many particulates of solids there are in the water by parts per million. And of course, you don't want that to be too high. Now, there are a lot of videos that go into water purification and how they, you know, the difference between just removing the solids and removing all of the other things as well. One thing, though, that I would like to bring up while we're here is that whenever there's an issue with water safety, usually a water treatment plant or your local city will issue a boil water advisory. So you've probably heard those announcements whenever you're on, you know, like in regards to your water safety. They'll say, please don't drink the water. They'll say, boil it first and then drink it. And that usually means there's some kind of virus or bacteria that they're worried about that you're going to ingest. So when you distill water, you are always boiling it. So you're killing anything that's bad. Not to mention, you're filtering it through a carbon filter, which is another added safety measure. And then you're just drinking basically the steam, which has been turned back into water. So, and that's basically all this really is you're turning it to steam, it's condensating back into water, and that's what you're drinking. So it is probably the safest way to go. So when this machine is finally finished, it's got about 54 minutes left. And the other thing I'll bring up is the pad on here is touch sensitive. So you don't actually have to click anything, you just have to touch it, and it's quite nice actually. And as far as the overall construction, the sides of the machine are quite hot. I will measure the sides so that if you do get one of these machines and you have children, you may want to be aware that the sides of the machine get to about, it looks to be 40, 45 or 46. It's enough to burn you. It's about 45 or 46 degrees, so it's not that good. I would not have kids around this device if you're using it, because it is probably equivalent to like a tea kettle. You know, when a tea kettle gets hot and it's been boiled. So be careful around children with this. You don't want them to burn themselves. Luckily for me, I don't have that issue. So, but yeah. Anyways, I'm going to get back to you with and then we're going to go to a conclusion, and we'll see if it was really worth it or not. This part of the video is to check the sound level of the machine. So right now I'm on A weighting. I'm going to go over to the so the other thing too that this particular sound meter has is it's got humidity and temperature on there. Now I just measured the temperature of the machine, but we're going to go to the sound of the machine. So the sound of the machine is 68.4. I'm just going to take off the, can you read that? Okay, 68.4. And it's putting out about 35 or 36% humidity, and about 30 degrees Celsius at the top. So this is about 30 degrees and 30, yeah, roughly 30%. So it's actually kind of acting like a humidifier as well, which is interesting. But a hot air humidifier, kind of like if you were to run your shower in your house. So 30 degrees Celsius is the temperature of the air coming out at the top, and it is, as I said before, it is about 68 degrees, or sorry, 68 decibels on the sound pressure level. So if you wanted to know how noisy it is, that's how noisy it is. And that's it. Okay, well, we've got about 2 minutes left on our distiller. Actually, we've got 1 minute left. And I wanted to start this video just to show you what the reading will be. I just wanted to know if it's going to make a noise or a beep or anything when it's done. So we got about 3,000 liters, or 3,000 milliliters of water that's distilled. It is just room temperature. It's not hot. So and there we go. So it was finished. It beeps. All of these just go to a slash, and that's it. And then you're going to have some residual distilled water come out there. The fan shuts off. It shuts off all by itself. You don't have to worry about it. So if you accidentally left it unattended, it's going to totally take care of the situation. Okay, so now we're going to test the water. So I put tap water in here. Tap water in here. 101. Okay. And then looks like we have 18. I tested earlier, it was about, oh, it's going down. Let's see. Go back down there. So it looks like it's about 16. Okay. So you have distilled water. So you can 16, or you can drink, well, looks like 105. I think it was 124 when I tested it before. So it varies. This tester is the one that came with it. So the fact that they gave you a tester and then it still didn't come back 0 shows that it's interesting. So in conclusion, if you consider the cost of going to the store and buying distilled water at a high end $2 a jug, at the low end maybe $1.20, and the inconvenience of hauling all those jugs back home, on top of all your other stuff that you have to get at the grocery store or the pharmacy, I would say that this unit would probably pay for itself in approximately 3 months. So let's just do the math. $2 a jug, 7 jugs a week, $14, $56 a month, roughly 3 months, your unit would be paid for. I've done a little homework on these things, and it looks like they can last about 7 years. There's one guy on YouTube says he's had his machine for 7 years. So I think that's pretty good. Even if you only got 3 or 4 years out of it, it would still be worthwhile. Now also keep in mind that you're not just making water that you can put in your humidifier, if it's the ultrasonic kind that I put in my review, but you can also drink this water as well. So if there ever was a dangerous water situation and they had, like, let's say a boil water advisory, this would even be better than that. Not only are you just boiling the water, but you're removing a lot of the other contaminants out of the water. Heavy metals, iron, things like that. So all in all, I would say it was a pretty good investment. Now, what are the big downsides? Well, you got to spend time with this thing. You got to put water in it. You got to filter all this, get all this water out of it. It takes 2 hours and 40 minutes to do a batch, okay? So you'd have to do that 7 times. So you're looking at roughly a half a day or more of just using this machine to get your water built up for the week. So in my particular case, I would take like a Sunday or something and spend a few hours and make some water and refill my stock, so to speak. All those jugs, I can reuse those for the machine. Now, I wouldn't recommend reusing those jugs if you're going to drink out of it. If you're going to drink out of it, then put it in a glass jug and put that in the fridge. But if you're just going to use it for your humidifier, then by all means, just reuse those other water jugs. Better than contaminating the environment by throwing out all these plastic jugs. Everyone's saying that, it's a big problem, all these bottles and things in the landfills. So, in an environment, if you look at this from an environmental standpoint, this is a much better way to go as well. You're not hurting the environment, but you will have to start off and get some bottled water for a humidifier first, because what are you going to put all this stored water into? So I guess you could also get those big glass jugs, like the water cooler type jugs, and you could do that. Now, I don't know if they make any larger machines in this to do larger batches, but I haven't seen any, but I'm sure that they do. I'm also sure that they cost a lot more money. So that's another thing you could probably look into. Cost to probably make with electricity on that, you're probably looking around 3 to 4 cents at the most, given your area and your cost of electricity. So for me, it'd be about 3 or 4 cents to do it. So it's negligible on the cost of electricity. So yeah, I would think that it's a good choice to go, and it's going to save me a lot of. It's going to make things a lot more convenient for me. Is it going to be totally convenient? No, I still have to stay home and make water, but it's a healthier solution. And if you really want to, protect your health, you have to take these measures. So, on that note, be safe at work, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.